All right, so January 1st, 2026. That date has been, like, hanging over everything for months. It's the day Daniel Bates, DLB, is supposed to just walk away from 11SIX.
It feels like a countdown clock, and we've spent so much time on this show dissecting the machine, you know, the producers, the strategists, the chaos agents.
The chaos agents, for sure, but the tension is just building. And we felt that, like, physically in the room when we covered the Sugar Palm sit-down.
Oh, totally. That room was, the air was thick. You could feel the weight of what was coming. Everyone was calculating.
Everyone was asking the same quiet question. Who holds the center when the center is gone?
And then the women walked in.
Right. Maria Lex comes in, all fire and digital justice.
Yeah.
Then Melody Sin, who is just a force of nature.
And right there with them, but moving differently, was Leona Jaye.
Yeah, she moved differently. She wasn't just, like, adding to the energy. She was framing it.
That's it. That's the perfect word. She completed the emotional circle. She walked in, and suddenly all that chaotic energy had a foundation. She doesn't float. She locks in.
And that is exactly what we need to focus on today. We're moving past the noise, past all the technical breakdowns, and we are anchoring this conversation to the essential pillar, Leona Jaye.
The sources literally call her the unshakable foundation of 11SIX.
But the title that really gets me, the one we had to get into, is the editor with teeth.
Yeah, you don't just get a title like that in an ecosystem that's all about raw, unfiltered truth. It means something more.
Exactly. But before we get to the teeth, we have to understand where she comes from. The blueprint.
The origin point. Okay, so she's LA-based. Her identity is this really powerful mix of Black, Mexican, and white heritage.
Which you can hear in the music, right? There's this, like, incredible breadth of emotional texture.
Absolutely. And it feeds directly into her sound. The documents define it as a blend of TrapSoul, PluggnB, and luxury emotional aesthetics.
Okay, hold on. Let's break that down because those are very specific terms.
Right.
TrapSoul, we know. It's that gritty, street-level R&B storytelling over hard trap beats.
It's the sound of introspection in a hostile environment. But PluggnB is the counter melody. It's softer, more atmospheric. It comes from cloud rap, that whole plug sound.
So it's more digital feeling, almost melancholy.
Exactly. It's the sound of being sad online. And she takes the urgency of TrapSoul and fuses it with that atmospheric vibe.
And the luxury emotional aesthetics part, what is that?
That's the polish. It's the high-end production that makes the messy, toxic subject matter sound expensive. It's heartbreak, but make it designer.
So the pain sounds clean, even when the story is dirty.
That's it. And that combination gives her what the source material calls her defining trait. Emotional gravity.
Emotional gravity. I love that. Her voice doesn't just skim the surface, it pulls you down into the feeling.
It makes it stick. And here's the really crucial part, the thing that explains her authority. Her connection to DLB started before 11SIX was even an idea.
This is wild. It goes all the way back to a Universal Music writing camp.
Days before the label was even a thought on paper. This isn't a new signee he brought in. She was a creative partner from the absolute genesis of the sound.
That kind of foundational trust, you can't buy that, you can't fake it. It's why she has the power she has now.
For sure. And if you really want to understand where her, what the documents call her savage confidence comes from,
You have to go back to the lore.
you have to go back to the chaos, the infamous LA strip club competition story with Brianna.
This story is like the Big Bang of the 11SIX universe. It's not just some anecdote. It's the event that shaped their entire ethos.
And the files are explicit. Leona was in the passion room for the whole thing, the hurricane wind and flood of it all.
Can you imagine being there, witnessing that level of raw emotional rupture?
Most people would run from that, they'd cut ties. But Leona didn't. She wasn't the cause of the storm, but she stood in the middle of it and didn't break.
So when we talk about her confidence, it's not a persona. It's like battle-tested. It's trauma-informed.
Exactly. She saw the wound happen in real time. So when she sings about heartbreak, she knows exactly where the emotional arteries are. She knows where to cut to make it hurt, but also where to cut to make it clean.
Which is the perfect segue.
Yeah.
Because that knowledge is what gives her this unprecedented power inside the label.
Yeah, let's get into the mechanics of that power. It's singular. Her role is unlike anyone else's.
The sources say she is one of the very few people who can reshape DLB's hooks without resistance.
And we have to stop and really think about what that means.
Right, because DLB's entire brand is that his music is his unedited autobiography. It's supposed to be raw truth. So if she can come in and reshape it, is she editing the truth?
That's the million-dollar question, and I think the answer is no. She's not editing the facts, she's editing the clarity.
What do you mean?
DLB, he buries his truth, you know? It's under layers of grit and aggression, and sometimes just pure self-sabotage. Leona is the one he trusts to dig it out, clean it off, and present it in a way that hits with maximum impact.
So she's like a translator. She's taking his diary entry and turning it into a public manifesto.
100%. And by giving her that power, he's not just making her a featured artist, he's making her a co-architect of the sound.
She's helping design the emotional structure of the label.
Which is all captured in that nickname, the editor with teeth.
It's so good.
It's perfect, right? Yeah. Editor is the precision, the clinical skill. Teeth is the force, the fact that her edits have consequences. She brings, quote, heartbreak with claws and clarity.
She cuts away the stuff that gets in the way of the feeling.
She provides the clarity that the architect of chaos, DLB, often won't give himself.
And the fans see it. That's what's so amazing. They nicknamed her the hook surgeon.
The fans notice. They can hear when a demo felt a little rambling, and then the final version just snaps into focus. They know who did that.
It just speaks to how smart their audience is. They're not just passive listeners. They're, like, analyzing the architecture.
And that defines her job title, really. She's the label's hook specialist. If a track feels too personal, too messy for anyone else to touch without ruining it, it goes to Leona.
Okay, so her power isn't just personal with DLB. It's built into the infrastructure, especially with the other women on the label.
Oh, she's absolutely foundational to the future of 11SIX. First, you've got her role in Crown 11.
Which is not just a girl group.
Not at all. The documents call it the female layered vocal engine. It serves a real function. DLB's vocals are often stark, aggressive.
Minimalist, yeah.
And Crown 11 provides all the richness he leaves out. The harmonies, the bridges, the complexity. Leona's voice specifically gives this emotional contrast that stops the music from just being bleak.
She brings the warmth to his coldness.
Totally. And all of this is nurtured within 11's heart, which used to be the Queen's hub.
This is the internal, women-led creative space.
Yeah, and you should think of it as a creative firewall. It's designed to protect feminine creative direction from all the pressures of the industry. It's a safe space for artists like her and Mariah and Melody to build their art without having it watered down.
And her history there is deep. She was shaping the label's DNA with Talia and Joyens from the very beginning.
Right. And her influence goes beyond just the music. It's in their whole cross-media universe.
The Neon Bonds film.
Yes. Her track Still Here was officially called the emotional skeleton key to Dash's entire story arc.
That's a huge responsibility, to carry the emotional weight of a whole character like that.
Think about it. That one line, city burns, but it can't kill my heart. I'm still here. That became the thesis for the whole film. Her voice wasn't just on the soundtrack. It was part of the narrative structure.
It grounds everything. And she said it herself when she was talking about the movie. She said, and the women don't just survive, they shape survival. That's powerful.
And that's her entire philosophy. It's not about passively enduring trauma. It's about actively defining what it means to get through it. That is the unshakable foundation right there.
Which brings us to her own work, her solo project.
Yay.
This is where the editor with teeth finally turns that surgical precision on herself.
This is the manifesto, and it's where that tension between her control and her vulnerability really comes to a head.
The album is slated for late 2025, right?
Late 2025. And the production team is basically the 11SXX A-team.
Okay. Lay it out for us. Who's on it?
You've got Hustle Harmonics bringing that dark, grand, emotional architecture.
The gravity.
The gravity. Then you have Johans, who is all about melodic precision, the surgical cuts.
The teeth.
The teeth. And then DJ YVYR adds that chill trap bounce so it doesn't get weighed down. It keeps it moving. It's a perfectly balanced sonic world for her to operate in.
It feels like they engineered the soundscape specifically for her. Okay, we have to start with the track that basically defines her entire aesthetic.
Pretty Girl Rage. Produced by Johans.
Even the title is a statement.
It's a whole thesis. It's about rejecting the idea that if you're perceived as attractive, you're not allowed to be angry or complex.
Oh, yeah. And that opening exchange is just, it's iconic. They say, I'm too pretty to act like this. I said, you're not fine enough to stop me.
I mean, come on. It's a perfect surgical takedown. She completely dismantles his authority to police her feelings while asserting her own value. It's like, your opinion is irrelevant here.
And then she gets into the strategy of it. I tried nice, I tried calm, I tried chill. Now I'm gone, I don't snap, I just plan.
That's the shift right there. The move from snap to plan. That's the entire editor with teeth philosophy in one line.
Her rage isn't gone. It's just been refined. It's been weaponized.
It's no longer reactive. It's strategic. And then she applies that strategy to the modern battlefield, the digital space.
I could cry or fuck up his page. Blocked him soft, but left my face, so he know I ain't replaced.
That is so brilliantly modern and cruel. A soft block.
It's genius. She cuts off his access to her, but leaves her image visible as a constant lingering reminder of what he lost. She's not erasing herself. She's curating her absence.
She's controlling the narrative of her own thriving. It's psychological warfare with an aesthetic filter.
And it all builds to that spoken word outro. This is the manifesto.
This part gives me chills every time. I don't raise voices, I raise problems.
I got grace and I got screenshots.
Pick your poison.
That line, I got grace and I got screenshots. That is the new social contract. It's not about who can yell the loudest anymore. It's about who has the receipts.
It completely flips the power dynamic. She's saying, we can do this the easy way, with my grace, or we can do this the hard way with the evidence. Your call. It's architectural thinking applied to a breakup.
It's incredible. Okay, but let's shift to Outer Range, the hustle harmonics track, because this is less about the rage and more about the boundaries that protect her self-worth.
Outer Range is built on that heavy emotional HH foundation, and it's a direct critique of these low-effort, digital-only modern relationships.
The lyrics are just a gut punch of truth. You be scrolling all day, but can't press my name.
And you like my pics, but don't pull where I'm still at.
Oof. Yeah. That's the disconnect, right? The gap between performative online interest and zero real-world effort.
They want the aesthetic of having her in their life without doing any of the work to actually keep her there.
And she calls out the psychology behind it so perfectly. You don't pull up, just pull away. Still want me when I'm out of range.
She knows they only value what they think they're about to lose. So she deliberately makes herself scarce. She puts herself out of range to force them to recognize her value. It's the editor with teeth cutting off the supply.
Using psychological distance as a form of self-preservation.
Exactly. And the spoken bridge is her laying down the new terms of service for her heart.
I ain't asking you to chase me. Just don't lose me.
You gonna love me in real time or you gonna hear about it?
Love me in real time. That's it. That's the demand. It's a complete rejection of being someone's maybe or someday.
It's a demand for active, present tense presence. No more placeholders.
It's so powerful.
Yeah.
But this fortress of control she's built, this entire pretty girl rage framework, it's not the whole story, is it?
Not even close. Because then you get to the track that burns the whole fortress down.
Track 11. Never Made It Home.
With DLB and Tala Diwata. And produced by DJ Climax Exigwe, the name alone tells you everything. 3 X's. This isn't subtle. This is messy, club-level chaos.
This is the confession. This is the track that just shatters the illusion of perfect, calculated control she just spent an entire album building.
It's all about toxic attachment, that destructive bond where you break up just to feel the high of making up. The lyrics are just brutal.
We toxic and tied. You beg for truth, I lie. You give your best, I slide. We break just to feel alive.
The editor's gone, the planner is gone. Here, she's admitting she's an active participant in the toxicity.
All that strategy, all that self-worth from the other tracks, it just dissolves. She says, I wait for a ghost, I ache for a voice. You don't choose me, but I stay your choice.
It's the anti-PGR anthem. It reveals that underneath the armor, there's this one specific vulnerability that she can't or won't edit away.
And it leads to maybe the most devastating lyric on the whole project. It's this moment of raw honesty that completely undermines her entire persona of being in control.
The final line.
Yeah.
I ain't stupid. I just loved you more than I love being right.
Oof. It's a clean cut right through the armor. If Pretty Girl Rage is about the power of being right, of having the screenshots, this line admits that for this one person, none of that matters.
She's admitting that she would sacrifice her own structural integrity, her need to win for this one deep, consuming human connection, even a destructive one.
That's the cost of the clause.
It is. She has the tools for perfect control, but she chooses the mess. And that duality that she can hold both the highest level of control and the deepest capacity for chaos. That's why she's the foundation.
That tension is what makes her so essential. Okay, so let's pivot. She's not just documenting her own story. She's actively shaping the future of the label.
Right, which brings us back to DLB's retirement, Jan 1st, 2026. The official story is he's leaving behind a map, not just ending things.
A structured exit. But who better to comment on the truth of that exit than his co-architect?
Exactly, and we found it. Her deleted but archived comment on a fan post about DLB's final album.
All she wrote was, he didn't say goodbye.
And that is the redacted truth, right from the inner circle. It's a leak with a purpose.
So what does it mean? If the editor with teeth says he didn't say goodbye.
It means the finality is a performance, a calculated move. His work, the map he left behind, is designed to keep speaking long after he's physically gone. The music doesn't retire.
She's confirming the structure is now self-sustaining. The ghost is still in the machine.
It's the ultimate no chains move. He's not gone because the truth he documented is still present, forcing them all to keep moving.
So what does that future look like? There's documentation about a potential new leadership dynamic.
The files mention a possible future duet album, Leona Jaye and Tala Diwada.
Wow. Okay, that would be the future right there.
It would be the definitive leadership team for the label's next phase. You're merging Leona's heartbreak with teeth, the fire, the defiance, with Tala's ethereal, soft-grounded sorrow.
Fire and water.
Exactly. Leona brings the strategy, the I got screenshots, boundary setting, and Tala, as the label's first signing, brings that deep foundational empathy and sincerity. Together, they create a complete emotional toolkit for survival.
And it all ties back to sisterhood. Her relationship with Brianna is described as riot and rescue.
I love that. She's the one who can pull Brianna back from the edge, but she's also the first one ready to riot right alongside her. It shows that strength in 11SIX is never about being alone. It's about collective support.
She provides the framework so that others can survive. Like she said, they don't just survive, they shape survival.
That's her legacy.
So after this whole deep dive, what have we really learned about her?
We've learned she's more than an artist. She holds the label's origin story. She has this unique editorial power over its founder. And she wrote the literal manifesto for modern defiance with pretty girl rage.
She's not a peripheral character. She's the structural pillar holding up all the beautiful raw chaos of the 11SIX sound.
She's the master of using emotional honesty as a tool for architectural precision.
Which brings us back to that core tension, the split between pretty girl rage and never made it home.
Her entire public-facing genius is built on this armor of impeccable boundaries, of demanding love in real time. She uses control to protect herself.
So here's the final question we want to leave you all with. If Leona's survival, her art, her leadership, if it's all built on this calculated, aggressive need for control, this pretty girl rage, does that very same armor that protects her professionally also prevent her from getting the one thing she seems to want personally?
That deep, messy, unedited intimacy she confesses she craves in Never Made It Home.
Is the unshakable foundation she built for her career also, in a way, a subtle wall around her own heart? Does the editor with teeth have to keep cutting away her own vulnerabilities just to be the leader everyone needs her to be?
She's the architect of controlled honesty. But what's the cost of that control? That's the question. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the woman who taught us all the difference between snapping and planning.
We urge you to appreciate the complexity of the artist who shapes survival.
The Deep Dive, a VividVoices Media production, focuses on stories once considered too real, too complex, or too uncomfortable to tell. We in Neon Core Media have no ownership or official connection to DLB, V2V, 11SIX, Orison, or Neon Vision Studios. We speak as outsiders analyzing the cultural architecture.